If something is wrong, it is wrong absolutely in any case. USA or let's say Britain, are they ahead of us or behind us? We say the wisest man in Eastern societies was Buddha. Relative ethics is subjective. In some societies, we still need capital punishment because people do not follow rule of law. Now, in the descriptive ethics also, we have two different ways of looking at things. One is absolute ethics, one is relative ethics. Now see, relative ethics is something that we discussed when we discussed this determinants part and all. That was actually the relativism we were talking about. That in Indian society something is considered right, in other societies something is considered wrong, right? But absolute ethics, it will say that if something is wrong, it is wrong absolutely in any case. Whether it's in India when you talk about killing, absolute ethics will say killing is absolutely wrong. Whether in India or Pakistan, China or Japan, it's wrong. Whether in ancient time, medieval time or modern time, it's wrong. Okay, if you go to any other planet also, there also if you're killing someone, it's wrong. Okay, so simply absolutism says that when you talk about ethics, when you talk about something as right or wrong, it says it is completely universal. Universal means you go to any location, any place, everywhere this rule will be applicable. There won't be anything wherein you can say that no, in this situation it is right, or at this place it is right, it is considered right. No. If it is wrong, it is wrong. If it is right, it is right. No matter what the situation is, what the time is, what the location in which you are right now. If it is wrong, it is wrong. Now, the best example I can take is of Socrates in this case. We'll discuss about Socrates in Moral Thinkers. But Socrates is a very famous guy. Now, just like in India, we have India or in the Eastern societies, we say the wisest man in Eastern societies was Buddha. But when it comes to Western societies, they consider the wisest man they have ever seen, that was Socrates. A very good person. He has good understanding of everything. Now, Socrates used to teach and his method was very different from other teachers. His method was, he used to make people think a lot. He used to make people question everything. And the society at that time did not like this thing, that all the young people, they have started asking questions. Questions to everyone. Questions to their parents, questions to the politicians, and politicians do not like questions. When you ask them questions, why did you do this? Why did you do demonetization? If you ask this question, Modi ji will not be happy with you now. Right? Because they will have to answer. Or any politician would not. Anyone who is in power, whatever action they do, they'll not like the questions being asked to them. Because that questions their authority. Now the point is, when he was doing that thing, he was arrested. And he was told that either you accept what we are saying, or we will kill you. You'll have to die. He says, I prefer to die. And he died. Okay, he died at that time. Now Socrates seems to be a person who is looking at ethics in absolute terms. He says, I will not lie, I am right, I'll stand by what is right. Okay, and my action is right no matter what the situation is. Just because you're killing me, I should lie in this particular situation, he'll not accept that. Or to say, absolute ethics is the idea in which you say ethics is, or ethical principles, they do not change. They are fixed, they are universal, they do not change at all. If lying is wrong, it is wrong in any situation. So even this person will say, if you are lying just to win the war or just to get things done, this person will say, no, it is wrong means it is wrong. If something is wrong, it's 100% wrong. It's fixed, it's universal, it is context independent. It doesn't depend on any context. So this kind of ethics we call as absolute ethics. And this is very rigid. It's very rigid. It will not compromise at all. It is like, if this is right, 100%, no compromise, 0% change. But when we talk about relative ethics is subjective, situational. In in case the society is different, we will say this is different. So let's say we talk about some rules in which we say it is okay, this thing is okay in American society but not okay in Arabian society, or this thing is okay in Indian society, not okay in some other society. Society specific, when people talk about their cultures, they have this relativism in their mind, that in my culture this is the right thing, in your culture this is the right thing. Now if you ask this question about non-vegetarianism, or this is a good example to take, whether one should be vegetarian or non-vegetarian, ask someone who thinks from relative ethics perspective. He will think in a relative manner. He'll say everything is relative. So if you want to eat it, you are eating, that's fine. If someone doesn't want to eat, that's fine. Both things are okay. Or they will think in this manner that if you're living in coastal area, for the survival you have to eat fish. Yes, but this absolutist guy will never do this thing. So think about it. Let's say there are two people. One is a vegetarian, one is a non-vegetarian. But this non-vegetarian guy doesn't like fish. Okay, he's non-vegetarian, eats only chicken. Both of these guys, they are on a boat and they are in the ocean, and now they have no other option but to eat fish in order to survive. This non-vegetarian guy will eat the fish. Even if he doesn't like, he will eat just to survive. What about this veg guy? If he's strongly vegetarian, there's only one option, either fish will die or he will die, right? And there will be people who will not kill the fish, they will prefer to die even. Making sense? Yes? Although I'm just in order to understand, I'm giving this example. The right example would not be this one. But to understand absolute ethics, you need to understand how people become rigid about that ethics, that this is the right thing. The moment this is the right thing, killing is wrong thing, no matter what the situation is, you will not kill anyone. Even if that person is terrorist, what you will say is, sir, put him in jail, don't kill him. Now think about that example we gave, capital punishment. Tell me what relative ethics will say and what absolutist will say. Capital punishment. When I ask this question, whether we should have capital punishment in India, that's question number 1. Question number 2, whether we should have capital punishment in entire world, in any part of the world, in any country. What absolutist will say? Absolutist will say capital punishment should not be there. Yes? Relatives will say it should be there or it should not be there. Relativist might say that okay, some societies have removed it, but some societies might need it. In some societies, we still need capital punishment because people do not follow rule of law. You go to America, you go to Britain, people normally follow the law. Let's say there is this red signal, people will stop. In India, people don't stop now. They don't normally follow the law. We usually do not obey the law. And in those countries like Germany, France, we normally observe people normally have a tendency of obeying the law. Right? So some people might say in the countries where there is no law and order established strongly, maybe we need some strong rules, or maybe we need something like this capital punishment also to bring that fear in the minds of people. So relativist will be okay with differences. Somewhere we should have, somewhere we should not have. But absolutist will say if it is wrong, it's wrong everywhere. And if it is right, it's right everywhere. No compromise. Making sense? Yes? So that's how we differentiate. So absolutist ethics, murder is always wrong. Saying what is the truth or being honest, that's the right thing. Stealing is wrong, no matter what is your purpose. Imagine a case wherein your parents are in hospital and you need to buy a medicine and you don't have money. One way you can become a beggar to this medicine shop, ask him, sir, please give me this medicine. One way. Second way, but even if you beg, he will not give because the medicine is very costly. Let's assume the medicine is very costly. He will not give. Second way is when the shop is closed, you go and you just open the lock and just steal it. That's one other method. Or third is, don't do anything and your parents will die. So think about it. If stealing is wrong, absolutist ethics will say stealing is wrong, then it is wrong, no matter what the situation is. Whereas the relativist will not think this way. Making sense? So both have some good sides, both have some bad sides, which you need to understand. Okay? So absolutist ethics, any confusion with this? No? Relative ethics, if we say, or rather if I have to say in detail, one is we call relativism on temporal scale. Temporal means on the basis of time. There was a time when slavery was considered the right thing. And there is a time when slavery is not considered right thing. So this is relativism. At a point of time, people were considering it as a right thing. And now they don't consider. Untouchability, caste system, all these show that people used to consider this as the right thing at a point of time and now they are not. There is a change. This is on the basis of time, we see relativism. So at one point it's right, at one point it is not right, at one point again it is right, keeps on changing. So this is the changing nature of ethics that we observe on the scale of time. We call it as temporal scale. Okay, even this homosexuality debate that we have right now. So was homosexuality present in India earlier? Was it allowed? No, it was allowed. India was a liberal society earlier. If you see the ancient scriptures, if you understand ancient India rightly, you'll see that homosexuality was very common. That was normal thing. Nothing wrong in that. But then we had British Raj and Britishers were conservative. So our morality, our ethics changed. It became Victorian morality. Victorian means this British morality. So Britishers were conservative. They said, no, this is homosexuality is a bad thing. We also said the same thing. Okay. And now, even after 70 years, we are still debating. Maybe we will have some change after some time. So that's where we are saying what is considered ethical changes in terms of relativism, in terms of time. It could change in terms of place or space. So let's say you change the location and ethics changes. For example, abortion. In one country, abortion considered right thing. In another country, abortion considered wrong thing. Yes, with place you see changes. Or the death penalty provision which we talked about. In India, we have capital punishment, but there are countries which say capital punishment is bad. So with place, ethics is changing. This is relativism. Third, situational or contextual. People will say that abortion normally is a wrong thing. But in case of a rape victim, abortion is a good thing. That's where you're looking at things from the perspective of situation. That in this situation, it is wrong, but in this situation, it is right. Making sense? So relativism will be different on the scale of time, on the scale of space or place, on the scale of context or situation. Okay, all this is relativism is what we call. Okay, and absolutism is very clear about it, that no means no. There's a very famous statement by this Saint Augustine, who is a philosopher of medieval times. He says, right is right even if no one is doing it. Wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. So it's very clear. If something is wrong, it's wrong even if everyone is doing it. Even if something is considered part of common sense. Let's say entire society is non-vegetarian, but there's one person who is vegetarian. He thinks in this manner that even if nobody likes it, I'll still be this, because this is the right thing to do. Or at the time of Gandhiji, when he was going for satyagraha, non-violence, it was a new thing for people, because nobody had ever seen any kind of revolution or any kind of independence coming through satyagraha, wherein you don't fight with others. You just say that you are wrong. What was satyagraha? Satyagraha means you say the truth and you insist upon that. You say that you are wrong. You are wrong, we are right. You're not using weapons. You're not carrying out any revolution the way we normally observe revolutions. This was new, but Gandhiji was very clear. I'm the right person. This is the right thing to do and I'm doing that. This is absolutism. Make sense? Yes? Now we say one more thing, that what should be like you, because this is descriptive ethics. We are just describing it. when you get into the normative terms, what should be there? In society, relative ethics should prevail or absolute ethics should prevail. Why relative ethics? Subjective. So killing should be okay in some situations and not okay in some situations. Yes. So when we look at societies which are not so advanced in terms of ethics, I am saying, you're not so evolved. See, we are living in different times at the same time. You see, India is living, if you observe this rightly, India is living in a different phase as compared to other countries. Do you think, if I compare, let's say USA or let's say Britain, are they ahead of us or behind us? Ahead. And when we think about, let's say, Middle Eastern countries, who seems more modern, India or Middle Eastern countries? Yes. Now, Middle East seems modern to you. Modern not in terms of buildings. Don't think about modernity is not buildings and all. Modernity is about understanding and values. Okay. Here females have got rights. Just recently in Saudi Arabia, females have got driving license or driving rights. And here we have so many rights. And you go to America, they might be having so other rights also. Like homosexuals are also getting so many rights over there. That's how we see the evolution of society. Sometimes we see a society which is very conservative. We see a society very liberal. We see a progression happening in society with time. Our society was bad. Like there was so much caste system and all, so much hierarchy, untouchability. Even European societies had the same thing. There was slavery. There were so many bad things happening in European societies also. So every society is in transition continuously. Now when I look at it, I see India as between medieval and modern. We are not completely modern, but we are not so medieval also. We are somewhere in between. Okay, when I look at Middle Eastern society, they seem to be in medieval times. They're still living in the medieval times. When I look at America, Britain, Germany, they are living in the modern time. And when I look at some Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden, if you see some good reports, all the social indicators, they will be at the top. Finland, Sweden, Norway, they'll be always at top. Health, education, equality, all these things, they'll be always at top. Those are societies which are way ahead of these modern countries also. We call them, let's say, post-modern countries or something. Now think about, let's say, those Jarawa community living in Andaman. They're living in ancient time, still living in the Stone Age. Yes? What I'm trying to say is, societies keep on changing continuously. There is a transition that is happening. Now, if I think about this transition in terms of ethics, people's understanding of ethics, in medieval times, if you steal something, people used to cut your hand. Now you don't do it. Why? In medieval times, you used to give punishment of cutting the hand for stealing something. In modern time, you don't give this punishment. You give some kind of jail, some normal punishment, not cutting the hand. Why? Although some countries like Taliban regime still is in medieval times, I said. So they still have those thoughts. But if you see all the modern societies, right now they are very clear, for this act, we will not give this punishment. So society's evolution has told us that we should not be that much barbaric. The punishment should change. That's how society's ethics changed. It's not like such punishments were not prevailing in those societies earlier. Those were there, but they changed with time. So as you become modern, you change. So every society has to go through that transition. So we say that when this transition is happening, for that relativism is okay. Relativism will be there because every society is at different stage of development. So every society will think differently. Someone will consider something as right, someone will consider something as wrong. That difference will be there. But if we see, let's assume hypothetically, when we reach to that last stage where we have developed the final ethics in the society, then in that society, absolute ethics has to prevail. Something is wrong, 100% it is wrong in every situation, everywhere, for everyone. You can't say in America it is right, in India it is wrong. No, if it is right, it is right. Okay? So we want absolute ethics actually. If something is wrong, that has to be wrong everywhere. We want that to happen. In hypothetical terms, we talk about it. Make sense? So I can say like, in an evolved society, there will be absolute ethics. And in a transitional society, which is still evolving, relative ethics prevails. But the ultimate objective is to bring that final thing. Clear?